We'll go ahead and get started because I know, Brad, you've got to make your way back to Kingsport. Really wanted to welcome everyone today. This is quite a historic day for Longview, for East Texas in general, the project. And we've been working on this for well over a year. I know when Andrew and Amy and I and our team, our crew, and Jay was there, I think Judge Stout, it's been well over a year ago. And I think Andrew got tired of hearing from me, and Heather too in our office, like, when are we going to make this happen? In fact, I think Amy got so tired of it, she has to transfer to a different division. But we're so excited, really, Brad, Andrew, we're so excited for what this project brings to our area. I'm Wayne Mansfield. I'm the President and CEO of the Longview Economic Development Corporation. And a project of this magnitude certainly cannot be handled by just one or two people. And for the first time, to my knowledge, and Rush, you may know more than I do, but for the first time to my knowledge, communities came together to make a project happen. It wasn't just LEDCO or Longview specific. It wasn't just Marshall or Kilgore. It was everybody came together to put this project and make it happen, put it together and make it happen. And with that, it comes a lot of recognition for everybody involved in some form or fashion, especially our elected officials are here today. Michelle Gamboa, one of our council members for Longview, John Newstad, another council member for City of Longview, Tim Carpenter, another council member. Thank you, Rollin. That's all of our council members. Riley McPhee is our city manager. Can't really do much without his knowledge and his input, and grateful for that. And then going outside of our area, Rush Harris with the Marshall Economic Development Corporation, Rush Executive Director, and a great partner with us. And oftentimes people think that we operate in silos, but that's not true for our area, because us at LEDCO, Rush and Marshall and Lisa and Kilgore, we get together quite often and talk about projects and ideas. And then also the LEDCO team, and I know I've got a couple of my board members here, Julie Woods, Runjit, there's Runjit, and Laura. Thank y'all. Really, really appreciate y'all's support. And then also personally, I can't thank enough the LEDCO team. Heather Malone, Cindy McBride, Delia Marino, Ray Antique, Tim Smith. Anissa is out on maternity leave. But they are the ones that really make these things happen. They are the ones that keep me straight, keep me in line, yell at me quite often. I think Delia yelled at me right when I came in the door this morning to keep me going in the straight path. So really, really appreciate everybody here, and thank y'all guys for making this fun. So Andrew, I think at this time I'll turn it over to you and we'll go from here.
Okay. Thank you, Wayne. I'm Andrew Coggins. I'm the site manager here and vice president for chemical intermediates for Eastman Chemical. I just want to highlight again what Wayne said. I mean, the collaborative nature of the leaders in this community is fantastic. The one thing I'll add is the talent. So I don't know, I talked to Mayor Mack the other day and kind of shared with him what I thought about how talented, that Wayne and his team are. And I mean, we're very fortunate to have the type of leaders in our community that we have available to help us with things like this. 1949, there is a newspaper article over there that says Eastman picks Texas. And I keep that, it's outside my office. That was a big day. 1949 is when Eastman first started to come to this area. We started production in 1950, almost 75 years. And today's a big day, $1 billion plus investment. A lot of engineering work is still yet to be done to refine that, but that is an enormous investment for this site and for this community that was enabled by the leaders in the community, our employees, and our leadership in the community. So with that, I just want to say thank you. The technology that's coming here. So this is a new technology for our site. We're an olefins-based site. This is a polyester technology. So it's a completely different technology for our area. It's going to help our area grow. It's going to bring different vendors. It's going to add jobs. It's going to make a big impact. And so I'm very excited. But I'm going to let Brad, I'm going to turn it over to our Executive Vice President and Chief Commercial Officer, Brad Lick, Actually, Wayne, you're going to do the translation. I'm just sorry about that. All right.
Andrew, you speak as long as you want. You're a lot more interesting than I am, I promise you. But also wanted to take a minute too and recognize Mayor Ware from Marshall. Really appreciate, again, the partnerships that we have. Jay, Hallsville School Board, I know I saw you in here somewhere there. Jay, appreciate, the Hallsville ISD was a big part of this because there are so many components and so many moving parts, and doing something that y'all, to my knowledge, had never done before. Again, this isn't something new and creative. Eastman applied for a Chapter 313 agreement with the school district, which the school district did approve. So it just takes all of these partnerships coming together. So at this time, I would like to introduce the Executive Vice President for Eastman, Bradley.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Andrew. And thank you all for joining us today. Most importantly, thank you for your ongoing and unwavering support over many years and many decades. Oops, sorry, there we go. It's truly an honor, thank you, Andrew, to watching my little photographing here. It's truly an honor to be able to come down here today and deliver this news to our site, to our team here, and all of you in the community. This site has battled through a lot of challenges, a lot of commoditization in our industry, and I've seen it firsthand. I came here 20 years ago for the first time. I'm incredibly proud of what they've done over many years, and I'm incredibly excited about what's ahead of us. You know, a couple years ago when we started this process, and you've heard it's taken us a little while to get here, we wanted to make sure that we picked a Eastman site, one of our existing sites, if at all possible. Longview was high on that list for a lot of us, for a lot of the reasons I just touched on. But I'll tell you, it was also a very complex process to go through because we had to factor in a number of different variables. Even more important was an incredibly competitive process. You can imagine a $1 billion+ investment like we're talking about garners a lot of interest from states all around the country, from communities all around the country, and they're willing to go to the mat for that money. That's even more true when you have innovative technology like we're going to deploy here, and you have an opportunity to make a big impact on the environment. And so there was a tremendous amount of interest. So all of you here in the local community as leaders and at the state level should be incredibly proud of what you've done to make sure that this site becomes the location of this next facility. We're incredibly proud and we're incredibly grateful for all the work. This outcome is just tremendous. When I think about what we're going to be able to do here, we were excited before we got the DOE grant. $375 million from the DOE is huge. It allows us to incorporate in game-changing technology. We're going to set a new benchmark in our industry for decarbonization. We'll be on par with mechanical recycling and really be able to show what you can do with technology to drive massive decarbonization. So at this point, I want to pause and I want the Eastman team to thank all of you in the community for making this happen. So thank you. Andrew already mentioned this, and I've touched on it, that the DOE award is very validating to us. I think it tells us, and hopefully it tells you, that we're doing something quite special. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the technology, but I did want to highlight that there was almost 400 companies that applied for this, for these grants. In our industry, there were only 7 granted in the chemical industry, so we're one of 7. We're incredibly proud of that. This facility will process 110,000 tons of plastic waste. Some of you were in our last meeting. Rob said that's a lot of waste. I'm going to put it in a little bit better perspective for you than just a lot of waste. I understand that the Longview Lobos have been to AT&T Stadium at least 4 times. Is that right? How many state championships? I didn't research that part. 2. 2. Okay. How many people been to AT&T Stadium? All right, the amount of waste that we process through this facility would fill up that stadium not just once, but twice, annually. That's a lot of waste. That's a lot of waste that's going into landfills today. Instead of going into landfill, we're going to take those nice carbon molecules. Think of the old days of looking across Texas and seeing those little oil heads. Instead of that, we're taking that carbon molecule and converting it back into new products without any compromise in quality. Incredibly exciting. It'll be exciting to actually attract new employees to the area. In addition to the DOE funds and going to the exciting scope that I've just talked about, we're equally excited about the opportunity to invest $20 million back into this community. That was a huge part of the differentiator when we went to the DOE. the relationship that we've had for 70 years, the fact that we have strong environmental performance, we have a community that embraces us as an employer, and we have a set of employees that embrace us as an employer, was a huge part of the successful bid that we had. The 20 plus letters of support that we got from everybody from the chamber to the charities to the school district to the higher ed institutions were again a key differentiator. So we can't thank you enough for that. We'll be sharing a lot more about what that community engagement program will look like. And most importantly, we'll be collaborating a lot more with all of you to make sure that has the impact that all of you want on the community. So let me wrap up by saying thank you again. Hopefully you heard that from all of us. We are deeply appreciative. That was why we came down here with our whole project team to share the news with you. And I think this is truly going to have an impact on generations to come for many, many decades, just like you see going way back to the 40s. So thank you, and I'll turn it back over to Wayne. Thank you.
One of the things that the group talked about earlier is business-friendly environment. And I've worked with a lot of cities in my 30-year career, and they may all say it, but it's true here in Longview. And representing that is Mayor Andy Mack. So Mayor, if you want to come up and say a few words.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, once-in-a-lifetime events don't come around very often. And many times it's difficult to appreciate the magnitude of the moment when you're in it. Today is just not one of those days. Instead, it's a rare moment of clarity where we can pause, reflect, and celebrate, knowing that we are in the midst of something that will be remembered in the history of our community for decades and centuries. Today's news represents the most significant investment in our community since the founding of our town on 100 acres more than 150 years ago. Eastman's choice to reinvest more than $1 billion, y'all are getting that with a B, right? Because sometimes you kind of miss that $1 billion is, in a word, monumental. I'm gonna break this down for you, just for those of you that can't comprehend, which I really can't. Let me just break this down. How many of y'all remember what a big deal it was when Tesla announced that they were going to Austin, or Amazon announced they were going to Austin? This is bigger than that, and this is Longview. This isn't Austin. This isn't Dallas. This isn't San Antonio or Houston. This is Longview. And it just goes to what we've been doing. Who would have thought Longview would have been the recipient of a Dollar General Distribution Center, a Gap e-commerce center, and now $1 billion investment from Eastman in our community? It's monumental. We celebrate more than 200 new jobs with an average salary of $90,000. Our announcement caps 9 years of unprecedented growth, includes a truly regional effort that has taken 2 years to shepherd to completion. We would not be here today, though, without the tireless efforts of partners from across East Texas, including Longview Economic Development Corporation, City of Longview, of course, State of Texas, Gregg County, Harrison County, the Hallsville Independent School District, and Marshall Economic Development Corporation. Texas Governor Greg Abbott and I had multiple in-depth personal discussions or shouting matches about this project. And I'm unspeakably grateful to him and for each organization and person who played a part in making this dream a reality. It wasn't a given. There were great Eastman facilities across the country being considered for this reinvestment. But when we all work together, we can accomplish anything. Just like we have in recent years when we collaboratively attacked major projects like constructing George Ritchie Road, providing a COVID-19 vaccination clinic with Gregg County. Eastman's decision to renew their investment in Longview and East Texas emphasizes the impact our collaborative effort can produce. East Texas is blessed with abundant natural resources and has historically been a significant contributor in the oil and gas, natural gas industry. But for a community in a region to survive and thrive, a diverse economy is necessary. The Longview Economic Development Corporation has done a tremendous job identifying key industries of growth, including continual investment in legacy businesses such as Eastman and circular industries that we have here. It's because of our abundance, not in spite of it, that we embrace a circular economy and celebrate Eastman's decision to recycle and reuse materials that would otherwise become waste. Because of Eastman's investment today, East Texas will be on the cutting edge of a new generation of resource stewardship. Since opening in 1950, Eastman has been a tremendous community partner, and we are overjoyed that partnership will continue to grow in years to come. Once-in-a-lifetime events don't come around very often, so let's celebrate. Today's day we'll always remember. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. So now also I would like to add Judge Sims and Judge Stout, and maybe if y'all come up together in collaborative effort. All right, so the mayor mentioned Dollar General and Gap and all these projects we were involved. The Dollar General project was 90 million. My board then challenged it, said, okay, we need one bigger. Gap was 140, and then I'd meet with Judge Stout to get him to participate in the incentive package, and he said, I'm not doing it unless it's bigger. Well, Judge, this one's in Harrison County, so I think we're in good shape. But Judge Sims, I really appreciate y'all. I mean, every time Judge Sims asked me to serve on his tax abatement review committee some time ago, and whenever we come and sit down and review these applications, Commissioner Malden, it's such a pleasure and a joy to work with y'all, and again, a business-friendly attitude. So Judge Stout.
Thank you, Wayne, and thank you guys here at Eastman. This is a very exciting day. And I do want to recognize Commissioner Malden. He's a county commissioner for Precinct 3 over here, and that's this Hallsville area, and he's been a big supporter of this whole effort. Something that's very interesting to me, 70-plus years ago, there were people just like you and me that were standing around here having a groundbreaking or talking about this effort. And my goodness, look at where we've come today, and here we're getting to do this again. It's just an amazing thing. Collaboration's been mentioned here several times, and this kind of project can't get done without some significant collaboration from communities, governmental organizations, you name it. It takes all of us working together, and that's what we finally kind of gotten to here in this part of East Texas, is working together, and we're really making a big difference. Something that impresses me here at Eastman are the number of people who this has been their first job, their first and only job. They started here when they were 18, maybe right out of high school. I know a number of them, and are retiring from here. That's just so uncommon. It tells me what kind of corporate citizen that Eastman is, how they treat their people. Not many folks stay at a job that long, and it tells you how they run their business here, and that's exciting to me. I appreciate the emphasis that Eastman is putting on being a conservative corporate citizen. This recycling effort, the emphasis on saving our environment, being a good steward of what we've been given, is very meaningful. And so it's exciting that this is happening here and not somewhere else. We are grateful that y'all chose Harrison County, Longview, this part of East Texas. Andrew, Tennessee's handed you the ball. We'll be here blocking and tackling for you. Yeah. So thank y'all very much.
It's pretty hard to follow that. But I will say, from a collaborative effort regionally, years ago we started talking about regionalization of this community, where cities and counties next to each other, instead of working against each other, let's start working together, trying to find common ground to develop this region. Whatever's good for Harrison County is going to be good for Gregg County. Whatever's good for Gregg and Harrison is going to be good for Smith. It goes on and on and on. I can't think of a better example of Eastman and what it means for us to be collaborating to get to this point today. And Andrew, thank you very much. And for the decision makers in Eastman, thank you so very much for coming to East Texas.
As I mentioned earlier, one of the groundbreaking components of this was the Chapter 313 agreement and the participation of Hallsville ISD. And we have John Martin, the Hallsville ISD superintendent, to say a few words. Thank you, sir.
So in order to follow with the trend that I've heard these colleagues say already, I'm going to pick on Andrew for just a second. So about 2 years ago, conversation talking about 313. Hey, we're all in, didn't know a whole lot about it, but I learned quickly. And so we get everything done, get everything turned in, and then it turned into a game of hide and seek. Hide and seek with your little brother. That you know you're going to put him in a great hiding spot, but you're never going to come find him. That's where I thought we were. So when I got the call from Andrew Friday That was awesome. Had to keep it on the lowdown, of course, until 11 o'clock today. But we are truly blessed at Hallsville ISD in many, many ways. A very important piece of that would be having Eastman Chemical right here in our community that employs, like you've heard before, they employ so many community members from Hallsville. I went to school at Hallsville, and I graduated with quite a few that came straight out of high school and straight into the plant. Now, I'm going to age myself a little bit. They're retired. They're already retired. But their fathers and their uncles before them were some of the ones that were here in 1950 when the plant first opened. And so it's a very unity-based company, works very well with our community, works very well with our school district, and the things that they do for our kids is just phenomenal. So about 12 years ago, I had the honor of being the high school principal at Hallsville High School. And so we, in the CTE department, we were talking to folks out here at Eastman, talking about process technology. Rollin, you remember some of this stuff. And so they came up and had an idea. They said, hey, you serious about this? And we were like, yeah, we think we have the right kids that will be great operators eventually out here at your plant. So the next thing we know, we're getting calls from Eastman Chemical. And they're like, hey, we need to deliver something. We're like, okay, what is that? They built us a mock process technology unit, delivered it to our high school, and we probably have put about 300 or 400 kids total in the last 12 years through that training, through that program, and hopefully send them on to Kilgore to finish up. So we're hoping to get to the point where my goal as a superintendent and as a principal was to graduate a kid on a Friday night and get them into that job, that lifelong career, or that internship the following Monday. Texas Eastman has helped us do that. And so for that, we appreciate it. We're super excited about this $1.2 billion with the B. That's why you're a doctor. I saw those notes you brought up here. I'm a superintendent, that's why you're a doctor. Anyway, Andrew, appreciate it. Everybody on the panel, thanks for having us, and go Bobcats.
And finally, too, to speak on behalf of the state, we have Representative Jay Dean.
Yeah, I get the mop-up duty, right? You know, it's been a pleasure serving in this community for almost 35 years. And, you know, I'll never forget one of the first calls I got joining the city council in 1998 was from the former leaders of Eastman locally. It was time to do our industrial contract. Oh, my God. You know, we actually had one of our council ladies show up in Knoxville, and y'all chairman of the board at the time called the local, I think it was before Scoggins, the guy just before Scoggins, what is she doing here? And Mike Childress called me and said, y'all got to get this agreement done today. He doesn't want to have to come. But anyway, you know, you go back and look at, you know, the forefathers that we had locally in the R.G. Letourneaus and the Carl Estes and the vision they had back then of what this could be. 6,000 acres. Lake Cherokee wouldn't be here had it not been for, you know, this plant and some of the other vision. But the people that have worked for Eastman and what they've done for our community, again, serving on the city council, serving for mayor for 10 years, what volunteerism that Eastman, you know, placed in participating in our community. A lot of our committees, just various sundry projects and on and on and on again. And I don't know if we could calculate the amount of hours of time since 1950 that Eastman has contributed to this community. But I also followed with Judge Stout. Matter of fact, worked together a long time, and we've always promoted regionalism. Now getting to be the state representative for this region, Harrison County, Marion, and Gregg, it's even more important. When we started working on this project, it became very obvious that this was going to be one hell of a competitive race for us to acquire this. And poor Andrew, I think you were just starting taking over the plant and, you know, just all of the political process you go through in trying to obtain one of these projects. This is an amazing project. If it wasn't for the people up here on this dais and people sitting in this room, it would have never happened. I want to commend Governor Abbott the multiple meetings he and I had. you know, he is very tight with his economic development money, to say the least. And he doesn't spend it readily, but he was super supportive, and, you know, he still considers himself a Longview guy. You know, he grew up here in his formative years, so I know he's watching this and excited about it, as we all are. And look, let's continue to build. Thank you all very much.
And I will say, Jay, it's my understanding, Mayor, I think you had the conversation with the governor's lead economic development, Adriana Cruz, when the application went into the state on behalf of the project. She made the statement that they had never seen one with this many communities and entities coming together, partnering for a project. So that really speaks well of the relationships that we have here. So at this time, I guess we'll complete the conference and leave it open for any questions that anyone has. Technical in nature, please direct to these gentlemen right here.
Yeah. You can handle it.
We've got our team out there.
Chemistry was a long time ago. No questions?
Well, thank y'all for.
You got a question right
Right here. Sam Sean with the Longview News Journal. Two quick ones. Generally speaking, is this a pyrolysis facility that's being proposed?
No, it's very simply put, we call it depolymerization. So pyrolysis is more for the olefin technology. So Andrew talked about, we've been in olefins for a long time at this site. This is polyester technology, and it's depolymerization. So we basically break the plastic down into its two basic building blocks, DMT and EG. So very energy efficient.
Okay. And then a lot of the new plastic recycling facilities in the U.S. Produce oil, kind of marine and aviation fuel from the recycled plastics. Is fuel in any part going to be a part of the product produced?
No, this is truly a materials to materials, so that's a key principle for us at Eastman in terms of, we've got about 6 principles we're using to drive our circular investments, and one of those keys is material to material. The second you heard me talk a lot about is lower carbon footprint, so we're doing everything only in places where we can reduce the carbon footprint. So
Thank you.
you're starting to see a little bit of the challenge will be the dialogue. There's a lot of competing technologies out there and a lot of different avenues. I think this technology will prove out very strong. That's why you saw the DOE put their money behind this versus some of the other technologies out there.
Any other questions? We appreciate y'all coming out today. Again, Brad, thank you so much.
Well, we thank you all, and I think this regionalism, is something that can be duplicated in a lot of places. We're trying to do that in Kingsport as well, but I can't say that I've ever seen it done as well as all of you've done it. So you should have a lot to be proud of, and we're very appreciative of it. So.
Thank you.